when we first started and it wasn't going well at all, if you can get somebody else to come out with you and just hold their tail straight up in the air, that basically immobilizes them. So I had my wife do that when we first started out. Milking a cow was probably the biggest learning curve we had on our homestead. It can be really, really hard and stressful at first, but it does get better. This morning I'm going to show you how to hand milk a cow, and I'm going to give you some tips, some things that I've learned. We're going to start off here by showing you what you need to get started to go outside and milk your cow. Down below like 50 degrees, the bacteria will not grow in the milk, so the faster you get it cooled down to that, the less chance you have for bacteria to grow, and it's going to make the milk taste better, and it's going to make it last longer. So first of all, right here I've got a seamless stainless steel bucket. You want it seamless, and you want one that doesn't have a curled over edge so that there's no places for milk to get into some cracks and stay there and rot and have bacteria then get into your milk. And the other thing I've got here is a 5-gallon bucket. A couple times during milking I will pour into this bucket. I'm going to put some ice bottles in here so that when I pour the milk in there, it's already starting to cool before I get into the house. And I'm also going to put a cloth strainer on top to keep flies out and just to get any little pieces of straw or anything out, so that's not sitting in there the whole time before we get in the house either. So there's my buckets ready to go. Let me get one more thing. And this other little bucket here that we're going to use to put some hot water into to clean the cow's udder. Hey, Batty. Our cow is grass-fed, meaning in the summer she's on pasture, and in the winter she gets hay, but she does get a little bit of non-GMO grain at milking. And this is also a way to get her minerals. We give her dried kelp, so she gets her minerals in that. So this here is what I call my milking stall. We just have basically a 3-sided barn here with sliding doors right here. But what I do is I put straw down. It's nice and clean, no dirt, just nice clean straw. Got my bucket of hot water here, cloths for udder cleaning. The other thing we're gonna use for cleaning her udder is some teat wipes here. I'll use a wipe just for some good disinfecting and to make it extra clean. So up here, instead of a stanchion, I just use a rope and a clip to tie her up. Back here we're going to use a string to tie up her tail. Now it's time to clean the udder. Good soapy water to clean her off real good. She gets especially dirty during the winter when it's a lot harder when she's not out on nice clean pasture. The reason I've got a stack of cloths out here is because I never dip my cloth back in the water because I don't want to get stuff back into my clean water, so that water always stays clean. Now she's all clean, we use the same cloths to dry her udder. Using hot water like this on her udder will also help her let down. Then, like I said, once she's all clean and all dry, use one of the teat wipes just to go on her teats and make sure they're nice and squeaky clean. Got a really cool milking stool that I got from an Amish farm. Antique. I think she's already basically finished with her grain. Taking too long trying to tell you guys how to do this stuff. Before you start with the actual milking, you want to get a few squirts out of each teat just in case there's anything on the end. The highest bacteria count in the milk is always those first few squirts, so let's get that out of the way. So her teats are fairly short, so I basically only get a couple fingers on there. You're gonna go all the way up into here. You're gonna basically pinch off a little bit at the top, and you don't want to actually pinch. That's how I did when I first started, and my first cow kicked at me quite a bit. So you're gonna go in here and you're gonna kind of pinch it off, and then you're gonna squeeze with this finger, and then if you've got a cow with longer teeth, you'll be able to get more fingers on there. But basically you're gonna go like that. And let me tell you what, to start out with, I know it's just gonna take a long time. It used to take me like 45 minutes to milk out a couple gallons, and now I can do it in more like 10 to 15 minutes. And you don't want to be like pulling down on here. It's okay to do just a little bit of a pull. Just doing it like this, not hurting your cow, I promise. If you've ever seen a calf drink from a cow, that thing is headbutting her udder to get her to let down more milk, and pulling and yanking and all kinds of stuff. This is nothing compared to that. I know that a lot of people milk like both front teats or both back teats. I just find that annoying to have to reach all the way around, and to me it's just kind of whatever your cow gets used to. A lot of people will milk on the other side, the right side. And when we got our first cow and we had 2 people milking, we had one on each side, she always kicked the person on the right side. And so when I started milking by myself, I started milking on the left side, and it just worked better, and I've just been doing it ever since. Izzy, you want to try milking? He'll show you guys how to milk too. When she's at her peak, she'll be milking like 4 gallons out of milking. And so I will pour milk into that bigger bucket more often. But right now she's only milking about 2.5 to 3 gallons. And so I'll just milk out one side and then I'll pour that into the big 5-gallon bucket. And then I'll come back and milk the other side. Once it starts barely coming, you want to massage her udder a little bit. Just a really light squeeze up here on her udder, and that gets everything out here. And that's especially important because we do once a day milking, and so you don't want to leave any milk in there. That's going to be an invitation for mastitis. Make sure you got everything out of there that you can. And then I do a real quick strip of her teats, just with 2 fingers, just kind of squeegeeing it out. You're not pulling hard, you're not squeezing hard, just to get as much as possible out of those teats. Again, so you're not leaving an invitation for mastitis. To strain our milk, we are going to first pour it from the bucket into a pitcher, and to pour it into our jugs, we are going to put a funnel in here with a disposable filter on top of that. So that will push that disposable filter down in there. The other option is to put this disposable filter on the end and put a rubber band around it, but the milk comes out a lot slower because it's just that small surface area for it to go through. Note about the jugs, we used to use glass jugs and we switched to plastic ones because we had too many accidents with the glass ones. One time Shelly was handling a glass jug, it slipped out of her hand, it hit the edge of the counter and broke, and she got a really bad cut on her hand. Another time I was putting some milk into the fridge and I bumped it and the glass shelf in the fridge broke. It was like 3 or 4 gallons dropped out of the fridge, broke on our floor, and the milk went down into the wood floor and was dripping down into our basement. Tons of milk everywhere and glass shards, and after that we were like, no more glass. And once we bring it in here and filter it, we're going to put it in the freezer for about an hour, hour and a half. Hey Tears, are you making us pancakes for breakfast? Woo! Good job. We'll have some fresh milk with those pancakes. Okay, who wants milk?
Me!
We did something wrong raising Tirza. She doesn't want milk. That's perfect to go with pancakes. You're gonna want to watch this video next because there's a lot of different things that you're gonna have to know if you're gonna have your own dairy cow.
Eden, do you want milk?